People, Deluded, I'm back again. Good morning, and I hope you're all doing well and safe this early Sunday morning. Yeah, like I said, with, Corona and whatnot, I hope you're well and safe even more, and I hope the same for your families. With the Premier League and all leagues really at a shutdown, at a standstill, there's no football to watch, there's no real source of entertainment and whatnot. But we might as well go through some Arsenal rumours or things I've just come across online. First things first, it's actually irrelevant from Arsenal people. Bayern Leverkusen, as you know, they're resigned to eventually selling Kai Havertz. Personally, I think Arsenal are priced out. We can't afford him. But just as, we need that role. Personally, I think what Arsenal need is you even see it with the statistics of Ceballos and Ceballos' good form. We need a ball carrier in that midfield. We need someone who is less of a poetry in motion sort of creative midfielder and someone that's more all action and can break lines and things like that. And I think obviously Kai Havertz would be that to a degree. I think he's a bit poetry in motion, but he's more the modern day creative midfielder. I obviously have previously said I think we need a box-to-box / defensive mid, someone who's got an engine who can carry a ball in a different way, but is a bit more switched on and dynamic defensively. Kai Havertz, similar to his teammate, we'll get onto Leon Bailey, hasn't been in the best of form, and whatnot, but he's still a German wonder kid. He's still someone you'd imagine will make the move to Bayern Munich or another elite club. And they've said, Peter Bosz has said, we can't hold on to him next summer. It will be a transfer of over 100 million euros. In this business, it's about developing talents and selling them on. With at least 100 million, we'll try to strengthen ourselves in 3-4 positions. And you've seen that. They probably will sell him and Brandt. You've obviously got Tardas there as well. They've previously sold Julian Brandt, if I haven't said that. I meant to say Bailey. If there's a snowball's chance of Arsenal putting a package together, I would love him, of course. But beyond my love for the player, it's not going to happen. Keeping up with, obviously, his teammate and a fellow yardman, Leon Bailey, has been linked with Arsenal. Apparently, Chelsea are beating Arsenal and United in the race to sign him. Apparently, he's rated at €85 million, which, considering, don't get me wrong, I love Leon Bailey. He's a yardman, he's a good young player. He can play left wing, he can play right wing, he can actually fill in that fullback. But I don't think he's worth 85 million, especially during this season. He's got all the potential in the world, but I don't think he is. He's had a lot of injuries this season. He's had a couple of red cards. He's not had the best of output in terms of goals and assists. Yes, he came on and I believe he came off the bench. I only saw the highlights, if I can remember correctly. But he had a good game against Rangers in his outing. He's a very decent player and he's got a decent future ahead of him, and I would like him. I do think 85 million is extensive and excessive for him, people. But considering his age, considering, he's only going to get better and whatnot, it could be up their street. Moving on to centre-half targets now. Apparently, Carlo Ancelotti's side, Everton, are on the verge of securing their first signing of the summer. Apparently, the club are in senior talks with Leo over signing centre-half Gabriel. Obviously, this defender has been on the agenda of Arsenal, considering our signing of Pepe, considering they only want 30 million euros for him, and he's only 22. It could be a step in the right direction and one of the more cheaper alternatives, because I know there's question marks over our whole defence, but I still personally believe we need a centre-half, regardless of people's form or Arteta helping them to change their career at this club around. So we'll see how that one develops. Keeping up on theme with centre-halves, and I want to mention it again because I said it in a vid. I don't know too much about Bruno Fuchs. I was doing my research on the player late last night. Again, I don't know too much. He does look like a confident defender and he does look like he's got the tools. He's got decent positioning. But we've been linked with the 20-year-old Brazilian defender who plays for International. I can't say their name, but you know the Brazilian club I'm on about. Either way, apparently he's got a number of suitors, and we're one of them sending scouts to watch them. And I want us to see. I want to see that. I want to see us have a bit of strategy. South America always have gold mines and things, and players that can be amazing and things. It's a gold mine. That whole continent from Brazil to Argentina and the rest of them. Obviously, as a British club, we're potentially at a disadvantage because of work permits and stuff. Makes it harder for us to bring these players in and whatnot. But considering You know, a lot of these players go to the Shakhtars, go to the Dortmunds and all these other clubs before us with the money we allegedly don't have. We need to unearth these gems before they go on and become stars and things like that. Obviously, with Raul Sanches allegedly good contacts, with Edu Gaspar being a Brazilian national, you can see how South America can be a place for us. And obviously, with the experience signing of Marie, with somebody, I think it's Cahegio, identifying Martinelli, collectively, regardless of who individual regardless of what individual is the reason for it, there seems to be a strategic push in South America. Not just South America, emerging markets can help us. You look at Africa. Imagine if we could have got Bailly before Villarreal or Mane before he went to Metz and things like that. Or even when he went to Metz. When these players, no disrespect, are making their advancements in their careers and trying to get into Europe, we need to be either the first port, or when they go to the Shakhtars and the Benficas and all of these sort of clubs, we need to be the next one on that to get it before they become 50 million, 60 million, 70 million players that we allegedly cannot afford. So I'd like to see that. Keeping up tasks with centre-halves, and we've been again linked with West Ham's defender Issa Diop, formerly of Toulouse. And this is what I mean. These are the... I wouldn't mind him. I mean, if you just looked at the last game we played at the Emirates, he bossed it again for West Ham. One of the better players for them. He's got height, he's got size, he's decent on the ball, he's a decent defender. What, he's like 22 years of age. I wouldn't mind that. He'd be on my list. The problem is you're looking at least 50 million from a West Ham point of view. Fellow Premier League club, one of their better players, one of their players that's only going to get better and has resale value. He's come a long way since his initial couple months in the Premier, in my opinion. They're going to want 50 million. And obviously, if you spend 50 million on him, that's good. But I've just said 2 centre midfielders and a winger. So again, if scouts do their job and it's different profiles, we can make it work. But you'd imagine that's a sizable stack out of our transfer kitty, really and truly, people. It is in that front. Moving to young players, and I haven't seen this guy, but he plays for Middlesbrough. He's a 16-year-old striker who plays for Ireland at youth level. We've been linked with Callum Covenag, who is obviously the son of Graham for Sunderland fans. He's 16 years of age, and it's apparently Arsenal and Chelsea have their sights on the young forward. Chelsea are allegedly winning the race, and you can see Chelsea are having an aggressive youth recruitment of lower leagues. They're allegedly trying to sign this guy. They signed the lad from Wimbledon, who's a decent player, and they do a bit of these signings. Chelsea's recruitment is aggressive. You also see City making signings. They signed a young lad from Kilmarnock. You've seen a lot of, you've heard, is it Tiger Rogers? I can't remember his name, but a young non-league 17-year-old was on trial at our club. We also had another trialist, or to have another 19-year-old trialist in the youth academy. So clearly we're looking at bolstering our teams, and to see he's 16, he'd obviously immediately go into our under-18s, and our under-18s, I'm not going to lie, next season they're going to need a couple of players. A couple of players are not the main players, like Sam Greenwood, Ben Cottrell, etc. They're not going to be eligible for this level. Potentially the second-year scholars aren't necessarily strong enough to carry the team, in my opinion. We've got some wonderful first-year scholars, but like Miguel Aziz group learnt when they stepped up, it's a young and naive squad. They're going to learn harsh lessons, sort of thing, people. So if we can supplement that with some decent recruits, I'm on that. And especially in defence, I'd say the main thing at under-18s for me is to bring in some defensive reinforcements. Maybe more so at 23s now that I say that, but what's the point? So I'd like to see that. Obviously, you want the best young players at your team. And yeah, man, us and Chelsea allegedly linked with him. It's nice to see we're trying to look at areas to improve consistently, people. For Middlesbrough, it'd be a blow because, a lot of these clubs lose their wonder kids and they just go on to become one of many at other clubs. Irrelevant to this, people, but apparently Premier League clubs are ready to discuss the process of ending the season now. The financial implications of the postponements and cancellation will be huge. So obviously, again, I'm not a finance man, but loss of TV rights, loss of commercial revenue, loss of ticket sales. How much of a knock-on effect, if the league doesn't get necessarily restarted, how much of a knock-on effect is that going to have on clubs? And a club like Arsenal, where you hear 1 minute we have money, but we have financial constraints. Obviously, with not being in Europe and things like that, it's always going to harm us, and we're going to miss out on some more fun. So I wouldn't say I'd like to see it, but I wonder what the financial implications or the domino effect is going to have, not just on my club, but other clubs. You look at City, they've even got the FFP thing. Even financially strong clubs might be in a bit of trouble. I don't know. again, I'm not a finance man. I'm just speculating. Finally, though, and it's more of the same, apparently Arsenal are ready to sell Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang if they cannot reach a compromise, but Barcelona are ready to end their interest. So maybe Barcelona are turning their attentions to, Lautaro Martinez, Timo Werner, maybe a younger sort of striker to replace, to assist and replace Suarez and the rest of the team in the medium, short and long term. Short term, Aubameyang would be brilliant in any capacity. He's a goal scorer. Obviously, you couldn't begrudge him for going to the 2 top Spanish clubs or the PSGs and things like that. It would make sense. Allegedly, he wants 300k a week. For me, of course, his age and regardless of who it is, of course, it is a tough one. It wouldn't make sense to really give it because you'd have him, you'd have Ozil, you'd have Mkhitaryan, you'd have many players on different variation of wages on the books. It's not sustainable. But for me, I'd give him it because if we can have him for the next 2-3 seasons while we rebuild, a 20 league goal minimum striker, that's perfect for us, really and truly, if he wants to stay. If for him to stay, we would need to move other players on to give him them P's. Obviously, decisions over Mustafi, Luiz, Socrates, Mkhitaryan, all these players who are contracted until 2021, much like Aubameyang. You've obviously got Lacazette. You've obviously got Kolasinac who are contracted until 2022. Are they going to be first team regulars? If not, they're on quite high wages for people that might not feature on a regular basis. Do you get what I'm saying, people? There's a lot of... It's nice to see how Arteta's using our side, but there's a lot of uncertainty over our team and things like that. I'd make it my mission to give Aubameyang a new deal, but we should know a man's intentions at this point, really and truly. I said it when we signed him. Why was there not an extension, a 1-year extension of the deal that we could have invoked? Because imagine we could have renewed his deal until 2022 with another year. That would have given us some leeway. And I'm looking at Raul Sanllehi. He said players weren't allowed to run their deals down. Again, I'm seeing several players with 18 months, a year to run. And then we're seeing players with 2 years to run. I'm seeing the captain, the top goal scorer, one of the best players in the league with a year to run. And one of our most promising young players with a year to run on their deal. We're here. We've seen rumours about Aubameyang's new deal. Saka's new deal talk seems to be a bit more concrete, and credit where due, the club seem to be doing what they can. But this is where I'm looking at people backing their words, because words come back to haunt people, and it's about everybody earning their stripes. Arteta can only do so much. I'm big on the Kroenkes leaving this club, but you just can't blame the Kroenkes for everything. That's the thing about Arsenal. The mentality comes from the bottom and from the top to the bottom. But you can't just say it was all Wenger, say it was all Gazia, say it was all Kroenke, say it's all this, say it's all the players. You can't just singly blame one variable because it's a mix-up sort of thing. The way I'm ranting and the way I'm feeling, it's like Arsenal are playing today or we play tomorrow. Reality is we're not playing for the foreseeable future, but I hope you enjoyed my little talk and things like that. I'm going to get out of here before the battery dies because I actually started this on low bat. Had to take a risk for you guys. Should have charged my battery, but yeah, it is what it is. On that note, always a pleasure. Deluded, I'm out. Make sure you vote for me to win the Football Content Awards, people. Link is in the description. If you have already voted already, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much, people. All I want to do is get nominated, really and truly. And just by getting the name out there, see what opportunities we could explore. Winning it is one thing. Do I think I'm going to win it? Of course not. But it's nice to see DG Nation trying to push and, we go out fighting sort of thing. That's what we're on. On that note, though, I hope you do that. But please comment, like, subscribe, share up the vid. And most importantly, stay safe with your family. And there ain't nothing more to do. So just binge watch these Deluded vids. People, God bless. I'm out.